Order. The House is in committee on the Appropriation 2013-14 Confirmation and Validation Bill. Members, the committee is debating the question that the reports of the committees relevant to natural resources, that is, primary industries, agriculture, fisheries, forestry, horticulture, biosecurity and food safety be noted. National has 2 supplementary calls remaining. Labor has used all of its supplementary calls. The Greens have 2. New Zealand First has 2. And the Maori and ACT have 1 each. When the committee was suspended for the dinner break, Todd Mueller has the call and he has 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining, if he so wishes.
Mr. Chairman.
Todd Mueller.
And so we're talking at the moment in terms of natural resources, and I was discussing water, and particularly the leadership that this government has brought to the management of fresh water, and it was effectively outlined in the report that we're reflecting on tonight, this evening. Look, and when we came to government, there wasn't even a scenario in place where if you took water, you had to measure it. And we've obviously turned that round in the last few years, because we held the view, and it's a correct view, that before you can manage something you need to be able to measure it. That came in 2009. But Mr. Chairman, in particular tonight I'd like to just spend a few moments talking about the National Policy Statement on fresh water. The debate had been going on in this country since 1995 and essentially hadn't gone anywhere. But we introduced the Land and Water Forum, and it has helped us to deliver the first MPS on fresh water in 2010, and then as reported on in this report, the limit setting and minimum standards over the course of the last year in 2014. And Mr. Chairman, I think these are profound reforms. The Land and Water Forum is an example of how this government works to get enduring outcomes. They brought together a myriad of stakeholders who, quite frankly, had only really met each other either in the courtroom or in the media taking barbs at each other. But we took an approach that you needed these people around the table, and they were persuaded to sit around that table and create a collaborative framework that has enabled communities to have an informed debate on water quality and allocation issues. And Mr. Chairman, these are hard debates. Let's witness Canterbury Water Zone. Those battles are challenging. I've been in the middle of that myself in a previous life. You have incomplete data, you have a wide range of views amongst the community around how water should be improved and over what time frame. But we have absolutely taken the view that a model of collaboration, a model that sees well-informed debates based on good science is the way to go. That is how you build an enduring solution through a community, and this is part of the reform package that we have driven as a government, particularly with respect to fresh water. Now, I sat in that Land and Water Forum a couple of times, Mr. Chair, whilst at Fonterra, and I note that those issues are difficult and complex. But through the leadership of Alistair Bisley and our previous ministers, Amy Adams and Nick Smith, the framework worked because deep down we knew that there's more security in community-endorsed collaboration underpinned by science than in expensive litigation. And as noted, and this report covers it, this year we expanded the NPS for fresh water with the introduction of our national objectives frameworks and in particular the associated bottom lines for ecosystem health and human health or recreation. We all know that freshwater management is ultimately the purview of the local council and the local community, but it is significantly assisted with national guidelines to inform, guide, debate and deliberation, and that's what this government has been involved with and driven in terms of its reform package over the last couple of years. Again, Mr. Speaker, this is genuine reform. And 2 further policy commitments that we're driving this year in freshwater, the $100 million fund on freshwater. I mean, that is again a significant development. We all know that farming at times have ended up in places when, in retrospect, perhaps it shouldn't still be. And this fund is about community working together, identifying where those buffer zones should be, and to be able to work measuredly with the community to be able to restore that back to its previous use and create a buffer between intensive land use and the water body that is seeking to be protected and enhanced. It's good thinking. It's driven by this government, and working with communities, we're seeing some fantastic outcomes throughout the country. Examples of those outcomes: look at the water quality improvement in Rotoiti, in Taupo and in Waituna. And we have backed that with good reform and significant money. $350 million that we are spending in...
Mr Chair.